What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, Throw It Back Thursday, Throw Punch Thursday. I hope we're all having a fantastic night tonight. And only one more weekday, until the kids go back to school. Tomorrow's Friday. They go back to school on Monday. So Dad is definitely looking forward to that. Some back to school shopping to finish up this weekend. And then off to school on Monday. It's been a little hectic over here the last week with back to school. Not only back to school, but Michael started football, all of that stuff. It's been crazy. So it's been a little hectic here in the household. Other than that, everything has been going well. And this week, it looks like Scott McNeil has become the one to take first place yet again this week. He made it very clear. He called me today to let me know that he did, however, get into the live chat before anybody else. And he took a screenshot just in case it kicked him out. But it did not kick him out this week. I see him there front and center, very, very top. Good evening, everybody, as he shall say. Followed by the Cruise channel. Sharon in the house. Chuck Spencer in the house. Gay in the house. Cheryl. Lourdes. So many of you amazing people are here on a Thursday night. Beach Bum Dave in the house. So I want to get started by just one quick announcement, right? There's one quick announcement that just came out today. It was a little shocking, to be honest with you. So for those of you who are avid Carnival cruisers, you know that there's a big cruise director following with Carnival Corporation, and there is a cruise director that currently is no longer in a cruise director position, so to speak, on the cruise ship, but has announced retirement. So, yeah, the Flying Scotsman has announced retirement. He will be retiring from Carnival Corporation on August 10th. And, just getting home and spending some time with his family and his daughter and all of that stuff. So he is stepping down from his role as Fleet Cruise Director and announcing his retirement. So we wish Chris nothing but the best. If you didn't get a chance to sail with Chris, I am sorry. Chris was one of the best ones you could possibly sail with within Carnival Corporation. So he will officially be retired as of Saturday. That's a little sad news, but good news all in all. He gets to go and spend some time with his wife and his kids and gets to watch his daughter grow up, which is what all of us parents really want, right? Is to be able to spend as much time with our children as possible. Brian says, what number was I? So if we're going based off the chat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Number 11 in the chat, Brian. That's not bad. That's not a bad number. Chuck says, how did Little Debbie do you? So Little Debbie didn't do too bad. We got a little bit of heavy rains and some strong winds. We were supposed to go out last weekend and do all the back to school shopping for the kids last weekend, but that didn't happen because of the storm that came through. But it really wasn't as bad as projected in the beginning, and that's really how it's been the last couple years, right? But with Mother Nature, we can't just think it's not going to be bad and all of that. We have to take the good with the bad sometimes and just get ready to roll with it and deal with whatever Mother Nature throws at us. But Mother Nature did not hit us with a 1-2 punch like she did last year. Work was a little difficult afterwards. There was some localized flooding on the roads. So it was a little difficult to get to some of the stations that I pick up from. But other than that, it wasn't bad. It was not bad. So I hope everybody else that's in the path of Little Debbie, I don't even know if they're calling it Little Debbie anymore, but any aftermath of that tropical storm, hurricane that came through, hopefully everybody's good and everybody's okay. I know Scott, he was up there in the Panhandle. He was hoping that it didn't hit that bad. I know it came through Georgia a little thicker than it came through here. So hopefully everybody in the path of Debbie was good. Yeah, Chris was a great guy. Still is a great guy, right? You say was as in past tense, but now that he's retiring, you kind of hope that he enjoys his life. He's going to do some performing. He's going to do things like that. He did announce that he has some plans for entertainment in the very near future, so be sure to check that out if you follow him on Instagram or TikTok or anything. You can find him at The Flying Scotsman on all social media platforms. So he's still going to keep everybody up to date with all of that. And yeah, that's it, man. I'm excited that he gets to go and enjoy the time with his family and watch his daughter grow up. His daughter is 5 years old. So he gets to enjoy that time that he gets to spend with her now, and he gets to just watch her grow up. So let's see. We are showing Alaska dates for 2026. I do see Alaska dates released for Princess in 2026. So there are some dates that you can choose from. Right now, looking on their website, we have May through September. So if I select any of the dates, let's go with Seattle. 6 to 8 days. How many itineraries show up for the month of May? Well, the month of July. Let's see. July 2026. 2 different itineraries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm showing 6 different available itineraries in the month of July on board the the Royal Princess, as well as the Star Princess. So a brand new ship already showing Alaska itinerary sailings for 2026 in July out of Seattle. So I know I touched base on that a few lives ago. I talked about how Princess was going to be repositioning a Sphere class ship over to the West Coast, which I think is actually pretty cool because they get to now sail out of the East Coast and the West Coast. And there's a lot of things that are bringing a lot of hype to the market. Like I know a few comments above by the cruise channel, they asked me to touch base on the Margaritaville at Sea third ship. All the information I have is the same information that other creators have at the moment, and that is scuttlebuddle that Margaritaville has already made arrangements for a third ship. They've already purchased the third ship. We don't have any names from past cruise lines or new name for the ship yet. We have none of that information. So right now, the only thing we're showing is that they purchased a third cruise ship. How are things shaping up for you at work? Chance to cruise some more. So work's been the same. It hasn't been any different. It's been a little more chaotic than it should be, but everything's been seeming to run okay. They definitely need some management down here in the Tampa division. I don't think they can run everything out of Virginia. But there are a few more cruises making their way to the schedule in 2025, not in 2024 at the moment. The only thing I have in 2024 left for this year is I have a quick little overnight trip to Miami to go to the Phillies games Saturday and Sunday, September 7th and 8th for my daughter's birthday, which is on September 6th. And then in October, we have the Carnival Magic out of Miami. So that'll be 8-day Southern Caribbean right before Halloween. So after that, there's nothing else on the schedule for 2024. However, Royal Caribbean keeps sending me flyers. So today I got another one in the mail with a short expiration date, right? I have to book it by the 13th. So they gave me a few days, a few itineraries to pick from. But there's a few out of Tampa that are 3 and 4 day sailings that I'd be able to hop on. So I haven't looked too much into that yet. But I will be looking into that over the next few days, so that way I can see if there's any of those that I can pop on in the very near future. The only reason I got first message is because I see the announcement early on the Facebook page, and YouTube always acknowledges when I say hi. So you know I will be tuning in. It was not a competition. I know it's not a competition, Sharon. Scott tends to always be first. So I like when people throw him off his game and get first place. Scott always is first, so I enjoy when somebody else is first in the chat. Oh, look at that. Julie's finally here. Let's see. What's the next one? Can't wait to experience Jubilee on September 14th. The Jubilee is going to be great, and that is a potential booking for 2025 at the moment. So I'm not going to give out too much information on that. There's a few people that are trying to keep some things hush-hush for that booking, but that's one that's a possibility for 2025, as well as Carnival Horizon in 2025. So be on the lookout for those. If you ain't following on Shipmate, Shipmate will be the first place to get those announcements, right? So I put everything on Shipmate, and I also put everything on the website. So you can check out the website. Let's see. I'll drop the website here. You can check everything out on the website. The website will have past and present cruises as well as future cruises. Everything will pretty much be on the website. You can get links to all the social media platforms there, videos, YouTube, all of that stuff. So that's all right there at your fingertips on the website. Which cruise line would you want to sail in Alaska? So Brian, I've sailed Carnival in Alaska. I've only been once on board the Carnival Luminosa. That was last year. So I'm trying to get on board a Princess cruise in Alaska in 2026 as a group cruise. Nothing has been figured out yet, but it's in the works. So I definitely want to board a Princess ship in Alaska, and I want to board a Holland American, all Carnival Corporation ships at the moment. And the real reason I want to do that is because they go to Glacier Bay, and Princess does this great thing called Discovery on board, and they offer a bunch of different things for you on board the Lido deck of the ship when you're sailing through Glacier Bay or things like that. They bring the sled dogs on. They bring the sled dog puppies on the ship. So there's a lot of things that Princess offers its guests that are sailing on board a Princess ship. So I definitely want to check out Princess for an Alaska cruise. And like I said, 2026, we're looking in doing a group cruise out of Alaska, well, to Alaska on board Princess. Mike and Chuck give me grief all the time for doing it. It's all good. Yeah, we do. We give them grief all the time. Like, as soon as I put it out, there's times he's always the first one. So we always give him a little rationing for being the first one. Going on the Horizon, September 2025. Some of the friends from the Glory will be with me on that one. That is awesome. Awesome. I've been on the Horizon was my second cruise ship with Carnival, right? So the first cruise I went on was the Carnival Mardi Gras, and the second one was the Horizon. And I absolutely loved it because the Horizon had the destination elevators. They had the smart elevators. You would push it. It would tell you what elevator to go stand in front of, and it would take you where you needed to go. And I remember going, why did they not put this on the brand new ships? Like, why? Why? It just makes life so much easier. But let's see, what else? Going on the Horizon, we already read that one. Sled dog puppies, I am so in. Yes. So they do puppies at sea. Like Chuck just said, they bring them on, they put them on the Lido deck. You get to interact with sled dog puppies and all of that stuff while you're sailing through the fjords in Alaska. So it's an awesome little experience just to be able to hang out with some sled dog puppies, right? Like, puppies are great regardless. And on a cruise ship, puppies would be even better. I mean, especially in Alaska, right? Who doesn't want to hang out with some sled dog puppies in Alaska? I'm all about the fishing excursions myself. So if they give you halibut somewhere on the ship, I would like to fish off the cruise ship, even though we know that's frowned upon. But yeah, 2026, definitely looking for a group cruise out of Alaska. And 2025, we're still trying to figure out boats and bros for 2025. I think we've nailed it down to the ship we're going to do it on. But we have not nailed down the dates yet for that specific cruise. Now we try to make it a short cruise every year, 4 to 5 days. We try to keep it at that cap, but I believe we're going to be going with a Margaritaville Islander out of Port Tampa Bay. And I'm just not 100% sure on what itinerary yet that we're going to do. I want to try to go to Flamingo Beach in Aruba, pet the flamingos while on the beach. Sounds awesome. I think Flamingo Beach will be great when in Aruba. In Aruba, I tend to do the same thing I usually do. I think this time in October, I'm going to do something completely different than what I typically do. Usually I go and I hang out at Redfish for the day. I get some good seafood. And I just enjoy the port area, hit them little local casinos there, throw a couple bucks in, test the fates a little bit, and just enjoy the day right there at the cruise port, right? Lots of luxury shopping right there. So if you're in the Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, all them high-end stores, you're able to hit all those high-end stores right there outside the cruise terminal and just enjoy the day. I think this time I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to do an excursion. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm trying to get a little bit more into the realm of excursions when it comes to cruises, right? So I do a lot of frugal friendly travel. I do a lot of travel on a budget videos, but I want to try and find some excursions that are, okay, we'll do this. You ready? I want to find the worst rated excursions through the cruise lines and go on the worst rated excursion to see how that goes. And I want to make a video. It's like, I tried the worst rated excursions. Now, if another creator does it, I'm going to be a little butthurt, but you heard it here first. I'm telling you first that that's what I want to do. See me traveling in the house. What's going on, Kurt and Marsha? I hope y'all are having a fantastic night up there in Virginia. Bone Tired Travelers, Denise, what is going on? Hope you and Dwayne are having a great night. Unless you're at work, then I hope you're having a fantastic night at work. I won't say the words I usually say to Kurt, or not Kurt, to Chuck when he's at work, because then that usually makes the opposite. So I just hope you're having a fantastic night at work. An excursion, what? Yeah, so like I'm definitely thinking of an excursion, right? And I've had this idea the last few weeks ever since I got back from the Utopia cruise, and I want to do like the worst rated excursions for each port. Now, I'm probably not going to do it every port, but I want to try and do at least one video per cruise where I took the worst rated excursion. So if the cruise is 3 port stops, I go through all 3 ports and pick the worst rated excursion out of all 3 ports. So that's an idea for a video that I want to do. And I want to try and do a few things different, right? So instead of doing the same thing I usually do, I want to show you guys some different stuff from those ports. Controversial cruising in the house. What's going on, Scott? Hope you're having a fantastic evening. I'm not going to say night because it's still pretty, not that late where you're at, but it's not as late here. So, Denise, I will spare you. I will spare you. But yeah, so that's an idea, is doing that. I thought about doing some more stuff on the ships, like thermal suites and all of that stuff. But in all reality, do you really want to see the thermal suites? Or do you really want to see a 300+ pound guy showing you what the thermal suites look like while he's swimming around in a hydrotherapy pool? I really don't want to see that. So I'm pretty sure y'all don't want to see that. So I'm just trying to figure out a new way to add a little twist to the videos and to the channel and all of that stuff to bring y'all a different form of content, something that's a little different than what I usually do, but definitely interesting nonetheless. Now, I've also had ideas in the past where I would do like a port day and show you like what to do in the area of the cruise port if you're coming in the day before. So things to do in like Port Tampa or Port Canaveral, Port of Miami, things like that. So Kathy's in the house. Jennifer tries that in the house. I hope you're both having a fantastic night. So with October, it'll be a little different, right? So the plan with October is to go down to Florida City the night before and spend the time in Florida City and then go to the Keys for the day and then come back and all of that. So I definitely can make a video out of all that. Look at that. Might have to let you have the worst experience on your own. $10 super chat. Thanks, my brother. And just for that, Chuck, you get this.
Awesome! Thank you very much.
So appreciate that, my guy. I appreciate that very much. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad experience, right? Like, opinions are people's opinions. Everyone's got a different opinion. So I'm interested. I want to try it. I think it would be a good concept for a video. And I think it would bring a lot of interest. I think it would get a lot of interest trying the worst rated excursions, right? Things get clicky when people talk about the worst rated cruise and all of that stuff. So if I literally book the worst rated excursion, I'm so down for that. I'm a 300 plus pound guy, and my wife is 115 pounds, and we doing the thermal suite at Jubilee. Go for it. I don't knock anybody for doing it, but you're not going to be posting it on the videos, right? So it's a little different when you're making a video and putting it out there for the world to see. But at the end of the day, I tell you all the time, right? Everybody asks me all the time when I'm on the ship, like, how do you hold up a camera, and how do you do this, and how do you do that with other people watching you here? My whole thing is I will give you a show regardless if it's on the internet or in person. If I'm recording, you're getting a show. If I'm putting a show out, you're getting a show. So regardless of the situation at hand, you're going to get a show. The difference with the thermal suites is people pay extra money to be there. So I don't want to be in the thermal suites with cameras and people being like all upset with me that I'm invading their privacy when they paid extra money to be there. That's a great idea. Give different experience in port in case anyone comes in a couple days early. Right. So like that's the whole plan with the local port days, right? Because you have a lot of people that come in a few days early, and with Utopia being an Oasis class ship now doing 3 and 4 night sailings, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to come into Port Canaveral a few days beforehand. But the thing with Port Canaveral is 9 out of 10 people already know what they want to do. Okay? They know what they want to do, whether that's Universal, whether that's Disney, whether that's SeaWorld, whatever the case may be, Cocoa Beach, they already know what they want to do. They already know they're coming in beforehand to go to a race at Daytona. They already know they're coming in beforehand to go to Halloween Horror Nights. So Port Orlando is or Canaveral, it's kind of harder to make that type of video work because 9 times out of 10 people already know what they're going to do. Now with the Port of Tampa, there's so many things in the Port of Tampa that are very not in your face, but there's so many amazing things that you can see and do in Tampa that 9 out of 10 people don't know. Whether that's Ybor City, whether that's St. Pete Beach, whether that's taking the ferry from Tampa to St. Pete and spending the day in downtown Tampa or downtown St. Pete and going to the Dolly museums, things like that. There's so much stuff that you can do here that people have no idea even exist in the Port of Tampa or surrounding areas, right? So, perfect example. I'm a history buff. I love history. History is my thing. That's the one thing I look for when I go to ports. I dive deep into history. And St. Pete has an awesome Holocaust museum. Has a train from the Holocaust that was used to transport people back and forth. And a lot of people that aren't from the Tampa, St. Pete, area don't really realize that this exists. And it's an awesome place to go check out. It's not, expensive. It's relatively inexpensive, but it's a great place to go check out. Same with the Glass Museum. Same with the Dolly Museum. So there's a lot of things in this area that you can do prior to coming in for a cruise. If you're coming in a couple days beforehand, we have Busch Gardens. We have a great zoo here. We have awesome little things. We have Clearwater Beach, rated one of the best beaches in the world. So many different things to do here on the Nature Coast that a lot of people don't realize is right here. So Will G in the house. Brian says just rent out the whole thermal suite. I wish that was possible, but there has been times where I've gotten up early in the morning or late at night where I've went in and filmed while it was dead cricket silent. So will you ever do a group cruise out of Tampa? I haven't spent much time there. So Jennifer tries that. Next year, we are looking to do Boats and Bros 4 out of Tampa. Usually it's just a guy's trip, but last year we opened it up to everybody. So we're going to be doing anybody and everybody is welcome to come. It'll be a short cruise, usually a 4 to 5 night cruise. This past year, it was on the Carnival Vista. The year before that, it was on the Carnival Pride. This year, we're doing it on the Margaritaville Islander at sea. So it's definitely going to be out of Port of Tampa. I just haven't figured out the itinerary yet. Here's an idea. What if you were to ask fellow cruisers on board previous permission, their opinions, specifically first-time cruisers? Lourdes, I actually have an idea for that. We've talked about it in the past. I just haven't done it out. I have a little segment that I want to put out for YouTube Shorts called Micro Reactions. And it's where I walk around with a miniature microphone and I ask people their micro reactions of the cruise. So give them 30 seconds, hit them with 3 questions, get 3 quick answers. I just haven't put that out yet. I have put pen to paper, but I have not put microphone in hand to do that yet. So there is a segment that I want to do called Micro Reactions, but I really don't know if that would gain a lot of traction within the YouTube space, right? Like I know it's great when it's first-time cruisers because everybody loves hearing what a first-time cruiser's experience is like or what they're expecting, things like that. So it's hard when you have a seasoned cruiser that goes into things like I do with an open mind and just expects everything to be is what it is. So we'll see what happens. I definitely need to break it out. I got the microphone. It's literally a little itty bitty blue microphone. Got a big old muff on it. It plugs right into my phone. And we'll do micro reactions. Would love to hear more about Port of Tampa. Been a number of times and always like visiting Clearwater. So Port Tampa is great. We have a lot of great places to get some good food, whether that's wings, whether that's Cubans. There's a lot of places to hang out if you're a cigar smoker in Ybor City. We have some of the finest cigars you can get here in Port Tampa. But it's just a great little place to go, right? Like we have a great little comedy club here in Ybor City. There's some great nightclubs in Ybor City. There's just a bunch of things that are good for you to just come in a few days beforehand and experience, right? Like the aquarium's here and that's right along the water. Like the aquarium is here and all the ships that port in Port Tampa are right behind the aquarium. So you can go out to the penguin encounter and see the cruise ships docked literally right behind the aquarium. The aquarium is one of the things you see when you sail away. There's just some awesome museums. If you're big into shopping, there's an IKEA. There's a Lego store not that far away. So if you're a Lego guy like me, you got one of those. We have a Topgolf. If you've never been to Topgolf, there's so many different things to do. And, there's a lot of things that you can do at home, but you tend to not do those things at home. You tend to do those things more when you're on vacation, right? Like I live in Florida. I cannot tell you when the last time my feet hit a beach here in Florida, but I can tell you the last time they hit sand when I was on a cruise. I live here. This is my backyard. So it's a little different when you live here, right? Like vacation mind isn't what you have when you live in the state of Florida. Like with Scott living in Panama City Beach, he lives in one of the biggest spring break capitals of the world. But in the springtime, he doesn't think of it as like, oh, spring break, it's party season. He thinks of it like, okay, spring break, this is our busy season with work. So when you live here, your mindset's completely different than what it would be for somebody that's coming on vacation. Now, weekends, it's awesome because right outside of Tampa, there's this little town called Tarpon Springs. Now, if you followed me for any period of time and you've seen any of my recent Sun Princess Mediterranean vlogs, I've told you how, and I've confessed to you in those vlogs, how much I love Greek food. Greek food is absolutely my favorite food. Tarpon Springs is a great little Greek city. It was built by Greek settlers. It's a sponging capital of the world, so they still dive for sea sponge right outside and right off the coast of Tarpon Springs. And it's a bunch of Greek-owned businesses and Greek-owned restaurants and all of that stuff. So I love going to Tarpon Springs. I like to take the kids there. We spend the day there. We walk around. We go to Lori's Hand Soaps where they go and they get some goat milk soaps and and just get lunch and have a great, authentic Greek food. Like it's one of the best places to find Greek food here in the area. So we tend to go there and do that, but it gives you that vibe of being on vacation, like you're walking a straw market or things like that. So you get to live, like Brian said, you get to live like a tourist in your own city for that little bit of time. So I think that's a great thing to do. I think being able to get out and do things like that, like we have Busch Gardens season passes, so we'll do Busch Gardens and things like that. So it's tough but you work 6 days a week, so the time you do have, you just want to spend time, relax, or catch up on content, things like that. But it's hard. So I think I want to start doing more port videos showing you what it's like to come and hang out at the port of Tampa for a few days before your cruise. Things like that. So look out for those in the near future as well. I think it would gain traction. That's how the Hawk2 girl got her 15 minutes of just prepare for the answers you get. Yeah, I'll be prepared. I don't think I'm going to ask questions like that to where I got to worry about them saying just Hawk2 spit on that thing. But yeah, that's true. That is how she got that 15. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I need to get one of those hats made. Talked to the wife the other day. We should be tourists in our own city. Yeah, and it's great to be able to do things like that. So definitely go out and do it if you can. I heard you're going on the World America, my friend. Did you take advantage of the Your Comped offer? You know, I had to drop that cruise to go on the Sun Princess. So I did not take, it wasn't through Your Comped. It was originally booked months ago. But we were going to drop that cruise off and go to Australia. I believe me and Chuck have agreed that Australia is not going to happen this year in 2025. So the Australia-Japan itinerary is going to go to the wayside, and I believe World America is going to be the one that I continue to go on. That was originally booked, so I'll definitely be, considering that. But we'll see what happens. Right now, it's not through Your Comped, but if your Comped gives me a better deal, then it might be booked through Your Comped. Who knows? But it's the inaugural sailing, so I'm not 100% sure if they'll cover that or not. But if you've got questions, fire away. I got plenty of answers, and if I don't have the answers, maybe I can find the answers. Who knows? I can always Google answers too. I'm really excited that Princess opened Alaska for 26. So that gives me the opportunity to start looking for Alaska group cruises in 2026. We did that in small town Texas, and the folks loved Kula Newly. I am Pacific Islander. They were like, welcome to Texas. I get free meals. Man, I wish I got free meals in Texas. You know what's good in Texas? Barbecue's good in Texas. Barbecue's good in Texas. Barbecue's good in Kansas City. I don't really got much to say about Texas. Every time I say something about Texas, Slinky magically appears. And then she's like, what are you saying about Texas? You know, I love my sister from another mister, but Texas is so small compared to Alaska. I'm just saying. It's super, super tiny compared to Alaska. Star Princess does look great. It's an identical match of the Sun Princess. I'd like to see what they're going to do with that Park 19 now that they officially announced that they're not going to be opening that on the Sun Princess anymore. It's literally not going to open at all. So it's a little disappointing because I know I've said it before. It's geared towards family friendly. It's geared towards kids. Princess was not a cruise line that geared towards kids a lot. So with them having that Park 19, that was something that they opened up towards kids. And now that it's not going to be opening, it's a little disappointing to know that it's not even going to be coming to the Star Princess either in the near future. But they did have some great itineraries. Now, I will tell you this. I do have an itinerary booked for next year out of Barcelona on the Carnival Mardi Gras transatlantic back to Port Canaveral with a stop in Celebration Key. I did look on Princess. I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm not saying I'm going to book this trip. But Princess does have a cruise on the Star Princess out of round trip from Barcelona. Prior to that cruise from Barcelona to Port Canaveral on board the Mardi Gras. So there is a possibility that I may board the Star Princess over in Barcelona. I'm just not 100% sure yet. The rates aren't bad. I can get an interior room very, very inexpensively. We're talking less than $400 for 2 people in an inside cabin. So there's a possibility that that might be a trip that I do in the near future as well. I just hate to sell myself short because I've been talking to a couple buddies, right? Like I've been talking to Cameron, and every time I've gone to Barcelona, whether it's been this past trip or the trip prior to that, every time I've gone, I've been selling myself short. I've literally been there for 24, maybe 30 hours at the most, and I haven't got to experience much, right? Like the first time I was there, we got off the cruise ship in the morning, and then we flew out at 3. We had to get up and head to the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning the next day. This time around, I flew in. I didn't land till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. By the time I got to the hotel, it was around 5. By the time I got dinner and settled, the night was over. And then the next day, I got on board the Carnival Glory. So I really haven't had much time in Barcelona. So this trip, this October trip, I vowed to give myself a couple days in Barcelona prior to the cruise. Well, once I started doing some research and I saw that Sun Princess itinerary was available, that became a wormier. And I'm like, okay, well, I can make this work, and I think this would be better than a few days in Barcelona. But I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm not sold, not 100% sure. We'll see what happens. Shame you're not coming to Australia because I'd love to meet you. So I will be in Australia, just not in the spring of 25. Who knows? Who knows? And I was telling a couple people at work today, well, not today, but throughout the week, they were talking about a couple videos they seen, and I was like, if anything goes belly up with work, then that's literally just going to light a fire under my rear end to make me want to do this full time a lot faster. So who knows? I mean, everything for a reason, right? Like, you got to be a firm believer in everything for a reason, and we'll see what happens. And I got a message from Scott. So if you guys are getting ads are on, and they are suggested through YouTube. So YouTube is only scheduling them how they see fit through the live. But if you got too many, I will go in and cancel them out and shut them off. So that way we can stop getting interrupted. Just an ad over the chat box. All right. Well, if y'all are having too many problems with it, let me know, and I will go in and shut the ads off. Let's see. Next question. Chuck just answered, just not going in spring, but we are coming that way soon. Yeah, so just not in spring of 25. I can't wait to experience Buc-ee's when I go to Houston. Lourdes, you're in Winter Haven. When you cruise out of Port Canaveral, you're not that far from Buc-ee's. You're only an hour away. When you go to Houston, let me make this suggestion for you. Now, if you're going to cruise out of Galveston, I highly suggest, with all the construction that's going on right now, on the way to get to Port of Galveston, you'd have to hit the Buc-ee's on the way down. If you want to hit it on the way back, it's going to take you about 45 minutes to go out of your way just to get to the Buc-ee's. So I suggest hitting it on the way down to the cruise ship before you get on the cruise ship. It's one of the best Buc-ee's I've ever been to. But we have one here right in Port Canaveral. Well, and just an hour north of Port Canaveral. And then we have one in St. Augustine. So we have 2 of them on our way north up to the Jax line. And we got one getting built in Ocala, very close to where I am, just about an hour away. So definitely would hit that one when that one opens. Got to correct the way we say Buc-ee's. How often do you cruise with your family compared to cruising with others? So it depends, right? So a lot of the times it's usually once a year that the family goes. Last year I did this thing where I took the kids on separate cruises. So it was just me and the kids, and we got to spend that one-on-one time together. So July I had my youngest with me. August I had my oldest. And then September I had my daughter. My middle child. So August and September, they were like birthday cruises because they happened in the months of their birthdays. And my youngest was in July on his very first cruise. Now, we did the Carnival Paradise out of Tampa, and they did just 4 days to Cozumel. They absolutely loved it. And then my daughter went with me on a 7-day on the Carnival Mardi Gras out of Port Canaveral. So she got the better end of the deal. She got a couple extra days than the other two did, but it's all in all good. They all love cruising. But I try and go on as often as I can because this is the passion, right? The passion is to make cruising content videos. And if I put out all of the content I have, then I have nothing to put out, right? And we're just working on live shows or B-roll that I have to from past cruises. So I try to go as often as possible. And it's great when I have buddies like Chuck and Scott who are easy to just hop on a cruise ship. They're not that far away. They're relatively close. I think it takes both of them like 5 hours to get here. And then just a few hours to a cruise port. So I got a buddy, Cameron. He hops on a few cruises with me every now and then, but he is in Kansas City. So it's a little bit more difficult for him. But with Chuck and Scott being right here, literally right at the back door, it's great to just have them. And they're guys I've roomed with before, so I know I don't have no problem rooming with them. And I got no problem with them staying at my house either. So it makes it easy with them coming in. It will be on my way to Spring Hill. Can't wait for that one to open. Yeah, so the next, so it's not the next time you come down because you're coming down again in October because we got the Magic Cruise. But yeah, any cruise after that Buc-ee's opens, it'll be on your way to my area. So yeah, you could definitely hit that one on your way. Yeah, have that idea since I have the elite deal. I'll ask the driver to stop there for me on the way down. For sure, absolutely. Now, when I went down and I did the Jubilee in December of last year, the second sailing on the Jubilee, we went through this company called Saltwater Moms. Now, relatively inexpensive. They pick you up at your hotel. They take you to the cruise port. Any stops along the way you want to make. Boom. Super easy, super simple, and they are just phenomenal. How was it enjoying something not Carnival? Dan, I've been on plenty of ships that aren't Carnival, and I enjoy it all, right? Like I've done Princess, I've done Norwegian, I've done Margaritaville. Royal is the most recent non-Carnival I've done, and I've had an absolute blast. No matter what cruise line, no matter what cruise ship, I'm always going to find the positives in everything. And I'm going to have a good time, right? I'm that type of guy that'll go on a brand new cruise ship with you. And I did it a few times. I think I was on FaceTime with Chuck for a few minutes. And I was like, look, bro, the Utopia has rust on it. And I was literally, it's a brand new ship, just built and all that. But a lot of people don't understand that when these ships are built, after everything's laid in the dry warehouse and they're first floated out, they're on saltwater from that point on to the very last minute the cruise ship is sent to the cruise graveyard. So it's metal on saltwater. You're bound to get rust on steel in saltwater. So you just go into everything with an open mind and just enjoy it and have a good time. And I love all different cruise lines. I don't have a specific that I would say would be my favorite. As a lot of us say, our favorite is the next one. So I don't have no complaints or anything like that. Listen to that. Look, man, I got my guys sending me messages. Chuck just sent me an ad. It's Nike. Nike is sponsoring and trying to get y'all to buy sneakers. So they know I got a sneaker collection, and they're like, let's get this guy. He's got a shoe collection. I sail Galveston and people love Saltwater Moms. It was a great experience. I had a great experience using Saltwater Moms. It was relatively inexpensive. I think it was $80. Was not that expensive at all. Cost less money than an Uber. And I know that for a fact because they lost Cameron's luggage and we got all the way down to Galveston and then they got his luggage to Hobby the next day. So he took an Uber from Galveston all the way back to Hobby to get his luggage, and then from Hobby all the way back to Galveston at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I know it was less money to do that than it was to Uber. I'm really looking forward to the Sun Princess April of 2025. Lourdes, you're going to have a blast. I love that ship. I love the layout. I love the things they've changed. I love the way they made things different on that cruise ship than on past Princess ships. The layout is my absolute favorite. I I wasn't used to it because it's not the typical princess layout, but I absolutely love the way they laid out that ship. Chuck doesn't have YouTube Premium. No, Brian, he doesn't. Chuck don't have the premium. I don't even have the YouTube Premium. I'll be honest with you. I pay too much money for other subscriptions. I'm just like, all right, I love supporting everybody. I watch the ads. Sometimes I click through. Depends on who it is, but 99.9% of the time, I'm watching them ads to help my peoples out. No premium for me. Yeah, it's a good deal. Like, it's not bad. It's relatively inexpensive if you're constantly on YouTube as much as I am. It's worth it. It's well worth it. But I just watch the ads. But yeah, if y'all haven't been to Buc-ee's, y'all need to hit a Buc-ee's. Like, Buc-ee's is definitely got to be on that list. Get on the family plan of someone else, Chuck Spencer. Hey, that's a good idea, Dan. Get on someone else's family plan. So if y'all are looking to have a kid and y'all want to add somebody to your YouTube Premium, you let me know. I'm up for adoption and taking applications. How's the audio sound? This is the second live that I've used the button mic for, and I'm watching it bounce up and down a little bit, so I'm not going too high into the gains, but as long as it sounds good, I'll continue to use this, or I can hook up the other mic. He says, Dan, I may do that, just not today. Just not today. We got 25 watching with 24 likes. Which one of you did not hit the like button? Which one of you didn't hit the like button? Make sure you smash that like button. I appreciate all of y'all that hit that like button. Audio sounds great. Audio's been good so far. I love Buc-ee's. Yes, audio is awesome. That's perfect. It's great to have something so simple, so tiny. So tiny. The reverb, so the great thing about the reverb that I could figure out was the mic itself. Now, if I went and I bought a more expensive mic, it would eliminate the reverb. But if I didn't, it would still pick up the reverb. And I'm sorry, but I'm not smashing no $500 microphone. I love y'all. I really do. But I do not want to smash no $500 microphone. Oh, it was Julie. Julie did not hit the like button. But she did now, so that's all good. It's all good. Brian said it was me. Julie says, oops. I don't know who it was, but between both of you, y'all have to figure it out. Bone Tire Travelers, Denise, have a great night. I will see you in the morning. What subscription do you have to help with YouTube? So all of my live, I go through, when I do my live stream, it goes through Ecamm. I also use StreamYard for certain lives that I do with my buddy Josh, the Moonlight Adventures. We do a peer-to-peer podcast. If you haven't checked that out, the latest edition is up. We just recorded that on Monday. You can catch that on YouTube or on Spotify. And then I use vidIQ that helps me out with a lot of things on the backside of YouTube that y'all don't really get to see. Jeannie had a question, but she rescinded it. What was your favorite ship food-wise? So this year I'd have to say it would be between both the Sun Princess as well as the Utopia. They both had some amazing food options. And it's ironic because both of them would be hot dogs, right? So the Sun Princess, they had a curry hot dog, and that was great. And then on the Utopia, they had the doghouse, where it was just multiple different options of hot dogs, Italian sausages, bratwurst, things like that. So I would have to say Sun Princess takes first place and Utopia would be second place. And the only reason Sun Princess takes first is because they have new specialty dining venues that are a little bit different than what you would expect to have on other cruise ships. Like there was a Butcher's Block by Dario. That was like a all-you-can-eat type of family-style beef eating. So it's not like your traditional Brazilian steakhouse, but it's that perfect little steakhouse that you would need. More than enough meat to give you the meat sweats. So I would definitely say Sun Princess for the win there. But Utopia is not far behind at all. Charlotte, North Carolina. I love Buc-ee's, waiting for one to come this way one day. I'm pretty sure you're going to get one there real soon. They are popping them up everywhere. It's like Chick-fil-A. If y'all remember Chick-fil-A back in the day, you'd only get like one in the whole state. And now you got like one every 6 blocks. It's crazy. You might not have that many Chick-fil-A's that much, but I know when I first started working for Chick-fil-A many years ago, we had one in one town, and then we had one that was like 40 minutes away in another town, and then we had one like eight towns away, one that was another 2 cities away. So they were far and few in between. And if you wanted Chick-fil-A, you'd have to drive from where I lived. You'd have to drive a good hour. Then they got closer. So then you'd have to drive like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But yeah, now they're popping Buc-ee's up all over the place. They just need to put one in Spring Hill. They need to put one in Tampa. I think there should be a Buc-ee's at every cruise port. And that's just my opinion. They should put a Buc-ee's near every cruise port. My wife and I are going on the Sun Princess in March. How's their pizza? Princess has some of the best pizza on the sea. Now, if you don't have the Princess Premier or the Princess Plus, you're going to have to pay an additional fee if you want to go to Alfredo's. Well worth it if you do that. Alfredo's pizza is some of the best pizza you can get. It's that Napoleon-style pizza, the Neapolitan-style pizza. So Alfredo's is on point. But if you don't get Alfredo's, the regular Princess pizza that you can get up on the Lido deck is just as good as any other pizza shop up north. So New York, Jersey, you're going to get that northern style pizza slice. Princess has some of the best pizza. If I had to rank pizza by cruise ship, it would be Princess first for me, then it would be MSC, then it would be Margaritaville, then it would be Carnival, and then it would be Norwegian, and then it would be, what other cruise lines have I been on? And then it would be Royal. Like Royal would be dead last. So I'm sorry for all you Sorrento fans. Royal is at the bottom of my list. Princess is at the top. Royal's at the bottom. And MSC notched Carnival out, right? Like until I went on MSC, Carnival was second. So it was Princess, Carnival. But they notched Carnival out. So it definitely would be Princess, MSC, Carnival, Margaritaville, Royal Caribbean. That's how I'd have to rank the pizzas. But Princess got some great pizza. Definitely check it out. Remember when Chick-fil-A was mostly in malls? Yeah, and it's crazy, right? Because now you have so many standalone Chick-fil-A's. But here's some Chick-fil-A trivia for you, right? If you don't know this, don't be shocked because not a lot of people know this. Only people that have worked for Chick-fil-A really know this kind of trivia. But Chick-fil-A, the original Chick-fil-A sandwich was only sold in what place? What restaurant sold the original Chick-fil-A sandwich? Now, I'll know if you're cheating by how long it takes you to answer. If you know this question, your answer should already be in the chat. There was one place that sold the original Chick-fil-A sandwich. So if you know where that is, then you're a true Chick-fil-A freak. Princess's free pizza or Princess's Alfredo? I would have to go with Alfredo. That would rank top over the free pizza. But only because it's that personal Neapolitan style pizza, right? So you get that crunchier crust. You get all of that stuff. So it's really good. And the one with the prosciutto, the Princess pizza, ooh boy, that is bomb. So since nobody's putting the answer in the chat, I'll tell you, Waffle House is the original location that sold the Chick-fil-A sandwich. That is where that sandwich used to get sold before Chick-fil-A stores opened. So the original owner and creator of Chick-fil-A had an agreement with Waffle House, and they sold and made the Chick-fil-A sandwich at Waffle House. But literally took so much business away from Waffle House that they couldn't do it anymore. They had to tell the guy, like, hey, bro, we can't make and sell your sandwiches anymore. We're losing business. You're making all this money, and all we're doing is making your chicken sandwiches all day. So we can't do this anymore. Culver's is popping up everywhere too. Yeah, Culver's is great though. I love their cheese curds. I agree, but I could see me get left at the port because I don't know how to get out of that store. It's better than Sam's Club, Costco, Scooper, Walmart, and Target. You're not lying, Sharon. You're not wrong. That is absolutely the best store ever. It's one of the best truck stops. It's one of the greatest things ever. Culver's was founded right down the road from my hometown. That's pretty cool. Chuck says, I knew it, but I forgot. Oh, say what? Yeah, Jacqueline, I'm dead serious. It was originally sold at Waffle House. Atlanta, Georgia, Chick-fil-A at the mall. Waffle House before the nighttime fights. Yeah. This was back in the day, right? Like this was way before people were twerking to get your loaded, smothered, and covered and all of that stuff. So, but yeah, that's a little bit of trivia for you, man. It's crazy, right? So, when you've worked for somewhere, like me, I worked for Chick-fil-A for so long, and I got to go to the original location and all that stuff in Georgia, and it was cool to see that. But not a lot of people know that little bit of history, and it's not something they don't want to talk about. It's just that's how they started out. It was real small, real crazy, real simple. But that's a little trivia for you. If anybody ever asks you that question, now you know that answer. But other than that, I got nothing else. I got some videos in the work. I got to get some stuff out in the very near future. I think the next video dropping is going to be the full review of the Utopia of the Seas. Even though y'all know I had a good time, I still created a review video. And that'll be dropping real soon. Good day from Texas, or good day from Australia. Lived in Texas, miss Waffle House and Chick-fil-A. I miss Australia, and I've never been there. Cruise Crazed fam, I'm looking forward to coming to Australia very, very soon. Yeah. Surprised since Waffle House doesn't have fryers. They did back in the day, my brother. They did back in the day. They may not now, but they might have back in the day. Now, we're talking like in the very beginning, right? Like we're talking when the chicken laid the egg type thing. Like many, 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 many years ago. So I don't know if any of us were born and bred. I know I really wasn't. I wasn't even a glimmer in my daddy's eye. But yeah, many years ago. Have a great night and week, y'all. It's going to be good. I got to go into this weekend with open expectations. Kids go back to school Monday. Got to get some school clothes this weekend. Work Friday, work Saturday. Get a video out Sunday, Monday. Kids go back to school Monday. I come home from work Monday and I get to take a nap in peace. There's going to be no kids here, just dogs. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is take me a little nap. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Sam's Club members mark frozen chicken tastes pretty close to Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And not only that, they have the nuggets that you can get at Sam's Club too. They come in a white and red checkered bag. They taste really good, really close to Chick-fil-A nuggets. Chuck says, okay, looked it up. It was in the 60s. LOL, before my time. Yeah, so it was, like I said, it was many, many years ago. It was a long time ago. But it's just weird to know, like, that's where the first sandwich for Chick-fil-A was originally sold, was Waffle House. Sharon said they did. My mom worked at Waffle House and they did have fryers. So there you go, y'all. Now y'all know. It's crazy, right? To sit down and think about crazy things like that. So, but that's it, y'all. I got nothing else. Y'all got no more questions. If you do have any questions, drop them in the chat on your way out. I will do my best to answer them. As always, there's 28 of y'all hanging out here. Now there's 25 of y'all. 3 of y'all dropped out. Y'all missed a special announcement. Sucks to be y'all. No, I'm just kidding. There's no special announcement. But anyway, y'all have yourselves a great weekend. I will be back here again next Thursday. What they say, red and white checkered bag. They know the color scheme to put on the bag too. Yeah, listen, everybody knows that red and white bag. That's that Chick-fil-A, man. Y'all are making me hungry talking about Waffle House, Chick-fil-A, Buc-ee's, and Cruise Pizza. Jolie, get yourself some good stuff. You're up there in Ohio. There should be something open this late at night. Maybe a Sonic. Half-price milkshakes after 8 if y'all got one of those around you. We don't have any more here in this area. I think it's like 30 minutes away. Scott says the naughty announcement. There's no naughty announcement this week. Y'all just have yourselves a great weekend. I will see you all next week. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with me. And until the next time, y'all know what to do. Y'all stay naughty. We still don't have no outro, but I'm just going to play this for you on the way out and end it. So y'all have a great night. Oh, peace. Play. Why is it not playing?